Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen, and enjoy my stories every day. In the pale light of a suburban morning, I sip my coffee, watching Roseth, my wife, as she flutters around our kitchen. She's been unusually vibrant lately, a stark contrast to her usual subdued self. Lately, our small apartment has been filling up with luxurious items, designer bags, shoes with red soles, even a new smartphone, the kind that makes mine look like a relic from a bygone era. I've asked her about how we can afford these extravagances on my salary alone, but her answers are always vague, fluttery distractions. Today she's wearing a dress that looks more expensive than our last vacation. I decide that it's time to find out exactly what's going on. As she kisses me goodbye, claiming another shopping day with friends, I wait a few moments, then grab my keys and follow her from a distance. Roseth doesn't head toward the mall, nor does she meet anyone. Instead, she drives out of town, her car swishing through the autumn leaves that blanket the suburban roads. Curiosity tightens my grip on the steering wheel as she pulls into the driveway of a large, secluded cottage that looks nothing like a friend's home. It's grand and isolated, surrounded by tall, shadowy trees. I park a little way down the road and watch. Men come and go, their faces a blend of nervous glances and satisfied smirks. It's clear this place isn't just any cottage, it's a brothel. A knot forms in my throat as I see Roseth greeting some of the men with a familiarity that sends chills down my spine. Taking a deep breath, I confront a man walking out, my phone clutched in hand. "Excuse me," I begin, my voice steady, despite the tremor of betrayal. "Do you know this woman?" I show him Roseth's picture. The man squints at the photo and then at me, a knowing smirk forming on his face. "Ah, lusty sweetie," he chuckles, as if sharing a private joke between conspirators. "She's a popular one here. Top request, mate." The world tilts slightly as his words sink in. Roseth, my wife, is not known as Roseth here but as lusty sweetie. The realization punches the air from my lungs. Humiliated and seething, I thank the man and walk back to my car, my mind racing. I sit behind the wheel, my hands shaking with a cocktail of rage and heartbreak. I need to do something, need to reclaim some semblance of dignity. I start the car and head home, a plan beginning to take shape in my mind. Revenge seems like a bitter route, but it's all I can taste now. As I drive, the ideas whirl: expose the brothel, confront her with the truth, reveal her double life to everyone who knows her. But each plan feels like a patch on a dam ready to burst. No, I need something more profound, more calculated. By the time I pull into our driveway, I've made up my mind. I will dismantle her world, just as she dismantled mine, piece by piece. And I will start by visiting someone who can give me all the information I need to bring this facade crashing down. My first step is simple. Tomorrow, I visit the brothel again, not as a betrayed husband, but as a curious client. And so, my journey into the dark begins. The next morning, my resolve hasn't wavered. I put on a nondescript jacket and a hat, hoping to blend in more effectively. The drive back to the brothel is tense, my hands gripping the steering wheel tighter with every mile that passes under my tires. Upon arriving, I don't immediately go inside. Instead, I sit in my car across the street, watching as men walk in and out of the cottage, their quick, furtive glances betraying a mix of excitement and shame. Taking a deep breath, I steel myself for what I'm about to do and step out of the car. The interior of the cottage is dimly lit, with plush red carpets and heavy curtains that block out the sun. A woman at the front desk, wearing a sharp suit and a knowing smile, greets me. "Welcome. How can we assist you today?" she asks smoothly. "I'm interested in services," I say, trying to sound casual, "but I'm quite particular. I heard about someone named Lusty Sweetie." Her eyes narrow slightly, but the smile never wanes. "Ah, yes, she's quite popular. Would you like to book time with her?" she inquires, tapping something into her computer. "No, not yet," I respond quickly. "I'm curious about your establishment first. Could I perhaps get a tour?" The woman assesses me for a moment, then nods. "Of course, follow me," she calls over a large man, who has been lurking silently by a doorway. "This is Marcus, he will show you around." Marcus, a burly man with a stern face, leads me through various rooms, each decorated lavishly. He points out the high-end amenities, but I barely listen. My mind races, trying to piece together how Roseth fits into all this. As we walk, I try to engage him in conversation. "So how long have you worked here?" "A few years," Marcus replies gruffly, not offering more. "And the girls lusty sweetie, do they? Are they treated well here?" I probe, watching his reaction closely. He stops and looks at me, his eyes sharp. "Everyone here is on their own volition, sir. We ensure their safety and discretion." I nod, pretending to be satisfied with his answer. As we finish the tour, I thank him and leave, my mind swirling with more questions than answers. Back in my car, I pull out my phone and start recording a voice memo, laying out everything I've observed. I know I need more concrete evidence, something undeniable. My plan is to gather enough to not only confront Roseth but also to bring this place to the attention of someone who can actually shut it down. As I prepare to drive away, another car pulls into the lot. The driver is a well-dressed woman who strides confidently into the brothel. Something about her strikes me, an air of authority, a sense of purpose. She's not a client. A new plan forms in my mind. I'll follow her next, see if she leads me to another piece of this sordid puzzle. With a final glance at the brothel, I start the engine and pull out onto the road, following the new lead. Each turn she takes, I follow, determined to unravel the web of deceit that Roseth, or Lusty Sweetie, is entangled in. I trail the mysterious woman from a safe distance, noting the precision in her driving and the careful way she checks her surroundings. It's clear she's aware, maybe even cautious, of being followed. My heart pounds as I navigate through traffic, keeping her sleek, silver car in view without getting too close. She leads me to a high-rise building in a bustling part of the city, far from the shady comfort of the brothel's secluded grounds. I park a couple of blocks away and hurry to the building after her. Inside, I see her speaking with a security guard, gesturing towards the upper floors of the building. I hang back, pretending to check my phone while keeping an eye on her. She heads for the elevators, and on a sudden impulse, I dart in just as the doors are closing. She gives me a brief, scrutinizing look but turns her attention back to the elevator buttons, pressing for the top floor. "Rough day," I venture, trying to sound casual. She looks at me, her eyes sharp. "Something like that. You?" "Just the usual hustle," I reply. "First time in this building, though. Seems like a place where a lot of important decisions are made." She nods, relaxing a bit. "It's a law firm. A lot of important decisions indeed." The elevator dings at her floor, and she steps out, turning to face me as the doors begin to close. "Take care," she says, with a small, enigmatic smile. I manage to wedge my foot in the door, holding it open. Actually, I was hoping to ask for some legal advice. Maybe it's fate that we ended up on the same elevator. Her eyebrows raise slightly, but she gestures for me to follow. "I'm listening," she says as we walk down a plush corridor adorned with expensive art. "My wife. I think she's involved in something dangerous," I begin, watching her closely. "I don't know who to talk to." I followed her and found out she's working at a place I had no idea about. Her demeanor shifts from polite interest to keen attention. "Go on." I explain everything, from Roseth's sudden wealth to the discovery of the brothel and her alias, Lusty Sweetie. With each detail, her expression grows more intense. When I finish, she stops in front of a door, marked private. "This is my office." "Come in," she says, unlocking it. Inside, her office is starkly professional. She sits behind her desk, motioning me to a chair. "What you've described could involve a number of legal issues. Trafficking, prostitution, potentially even corruption if the brothel is protected. You need evidence, solid proof." I recorded some things, took notes. "I saw how they operate, and something tells me there's more under the surface," I reply, feeling the first thread of an alliance forming. She nods. "I can help, but you need to be careful. If your wife is indeed involved as you say, this could put you both in danger." "I understand," I say, though in truth, the depth of the danger is just beginning to dawn on me. "We'll need more than just your observations. We need documents, records, anything concrete. I have contacts who can help us dig deeper," she offers, pulling out her phone. "Thank you," I say, relief mingling with my fear. I just want to understand, and maybe save her from whatever this is. She gives me a sharp nod. "Let's start by getting you to meet with a private investigator I know. we'll take it from there. As I leave her office, the weight of my mission feels both lighter and heavier. There's a path forward now, but the journey promises to be fraught with shadows and uncertainties. I'm ready to face whatever comes, armed with a newfound ally in the heart of the city. Days blend into weeks as my alliance with the lawyer, whom I learn to call Diana, deepens. Under her guidance, I work with the private investigator, meticulously piecing together the operations of the brothel and tracing the source of Rose's newfound affluence. Every step reveals a layer more complex and disturbing than the last. One evening, Diana calls me with urgency in her voice. "I need you to meet me at my office immediately," she says, her tone leaving no room for questions. I rush over, my mind racing with possibilities. When I arrive, Diana is pacing in front of her desk, a stack of documents and her laptop open. "We've made a breakthrough," she announces without preamble. She hands me a document. "Look at this." I scan the pages, my eyes widening as I take in the information. It's a financial statement, showing large transactions traced back to an offshore account linked to the brothel. But it's the names on the document that make my heart stop. Among them is Rosette's, but not in the way I expected. These transactions, they're payments to a charity. A shelter for women escaping from human trafficking, I stammer, looking up at Diana in confusion. Yes, Diana confirms, her eyes steady on mine. Roseth isn't just working at the brothel, she's using it as a front to funnel funds to help victims of trafficking. She's been protecting these women, finding them a way out. The room spins as I absorb her words. But why wouldn't she tell me, I ask, my voice a mix of relief and betrayal. "Because she was protecting you as well," Diana says softly. "This operation, it's risky. If the wrong people found out what she was really doing, both of you could be in serious danger." The realization hits me hard. All this time I thought I was uncovering her secrets to expose her betrayal, but instead I was blind to the real, harrowing fight she was waging. Diana hands me another document. This is her plan, detailed out. She wants to dismantle the brothel, but she needs more evidence against the higher-ups who are untouchable right now. What do we do now, I ask, my resolve strengthening with the newfound truth of Rosette's bravery. "We help her finish what she started," Diana declares. "And we do it carefully. You can't confront her about this, not yet. It's too risky. For now, we gather more evidence, enough to take down the entire network." I nod, understanding the role I must play. We work tirelessly, collecting every scrap of evidence, coordinating with law enforcement behind the scenes, all without Rosette's knowledge. The day of the raid arrives. It's early morning when the police, along with Diana and me, converge on the brothel. We watch as officers storm the building. My heart races, knowing today will change everything. As the sun rises, police escort the women from the brothel, and among them is Roseth. Her eyes meet mine across the chaos, filled with surprise and a flicker of fear. After the women are safe and the criminals arrested, I approach her. "I know everything, Roseth," I say, my voice thick with emotions. "Why didn't you trust me?" Tears fill her eyes as she reaches for my hands. "I wanted to protect you," she whispers. "I couldn't bear if anything happened to you because of me." "I wish you had trusted me," I reply, pulling her close. "We're in this together now, everything, together." As we stand amid the resolution of a long-hidden battle, I realize that our future, though uncertain, holds a promise of renewal and justice. Roseth and I, once divided by secrets, are now bound by a shared purpose to rebuild and heal, not just our relationship but the lives of those she fought so hard to save. The path ahead is fraught with challenges, but together we face it unafraid, our bond strengthened by the trials and truths unveiled in the darkest of places.